Welcome back from the video. So that gave us an easy map of how bills become laws. And this is your Texas map on how bills become laws. What it does show you is all the places that you can make a difference. Everywhere you see a raised hand is an opportunity for an advocate to make a difference. The legislation is introduced, it gets sent to a committee. The committee, you can make a difference, asking for it to be scheduled, asking for it not to be scheduled if it's a bill that will hurt our industry. You can testify during public hearings for or against the bill. Then it can go to the calendars and it takes a majority vote to move it out. So this is a place that you can interact again. We've had a bill in previous sessions get stuck on calendars and took us weeks to get it moved out for voting. So this is a huge place you can make an input. As you move on, again, remember it has to go through the House and the Senate. So on this particular map, it's a House bill that we're following through the House and then over into the Senate. The great thing is once it flips to the other side, you get to start all over again and make a difference again, because there's going to be another committee hearing. There's going to be additional votes. There's going to be scheduling. So your opportunity to make a difference comes up all throughout the session and all throughout a bill's life. Some very important dates, which are actually for the 87th legislature, not the 86th, as stated. The general election is Tuesday, November 3rd. Bill pre-filing starts Monday, November 9th, 2020. So that already started for us, and we're a few days into that. The 87th legislature convenes on Tuesday, January 12th, 2021. And at this point, we still don't know exactly what that's going to look like, or if we're going to be doing most of our work virtually or in person. The deadlines below are tentative, and the calendar and the rules will be set after the House comes together. But technically, March 12th will be the last time any bill can be filed. And then the very last day is May 31st. Now, throughout the last year, we've been told to be ready for special sessions. So this could be a very different year and look very, very different than we have in the past, but these are the dates that we'll be working on. Texas Legislature Online is your absolute authority on everything. There's going to be an exercise when you walk later in the day when you can walk through this website. You can find who represents you, what bills have been filed, where committees are meeting, what they're talking about, what hearings are coming up, and you can set up your emails to receive all of that information. Please remember, if you set it up now, they will delete everything before the new session starts and you'll have to do it all again. So look at it, learn about it, and then get ready to do it in January so that you'll be ready for the new session. One of the other important things that we're going to be asking you to do is testimony. In the past, we've really spent a lot of time talking about verbal testimony and testifying in the building. We really hope that's going to be a possibility this year because the face-to-face contact is so important. So we will talk about that. However, with COVID, we're still pending a lot of rules, and we think that a lot of testimony is going to be taken through writing. As all three organizations hosting this event move forward into the session, we will be giving you tools and resources to prepare that written testimony. We'll give you speaking points. We will help you with notifications and things like that, because written testimony is going to be different than the verbal. However, if you get to actually go testify at the Capitol, things you need to know. You need to notify the committee clerk ahead of time, at least 72 hours if you're going to need an accommodation for a disability. When you arrive, you sign in and fill out a testimony card. Now, last session, the House is fully electronic. The Senate is working on electronic. So you'll just have to see what what they have in place at this point, but I'm sure they're moving towards electronic on both. Once your account's set up, the next time you go in to sign in is super easy for you to get registered for that hearing. They do have the Wi-Fi settings where you can't register from the parking lot. You actually have to be in the building when you register for a hearing though. So when you get in that hearing room, try to get there a little bit early, get comfortable in the room, particularly the Senate Finance room. House Appropriations are big. They can be intimidating, and they're usually completely full when we show up to testify. Again, it'll be different this year. Find out how long you will be allowed to speak, and then stop when the buzzer goes off. I will never forget Senator Hinojosa, as graciously as possible, asking the person who went way past the first 3 buzzers to please stop talking. It was 11 o'clock at night. Everyone was tired, but everyone had had a long day. And so we need to respect them as they respect us. They do their best to make sure that public testimony can be heard and taken into account when they're doing their work. Always bring written copies of your testimony. On the hearing notice, it will tell you how many copies you need to bring. Bring some extras just in case. And then when we get to go back in person, or if we get to this year, bring snacks, bring a friend, and have some patience. I've testified at 1 o'clock in the morning. I've testified at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for something that was said at 8 o'clock in the morning. You never know when it's going to actually be your turn. But again, it does make a difference. And later on today, you're going to be working on your story and how to get ready for that testimony. Wanted to also talk a little bit about the budget cycle and what that looks like for HHSC. As everything that we do in this world, a lot of it is through the Health and Human Service Commission, some criminal justice, and some other smaller state agencies, depending on what services you provide. But the majority of us work with Health and Human Services. So over the interim, Health and Human Services began preparing a budget. That budget then goes to the Legislative Budget Board for review, and budget recommendations are prepared and sent to the legislature. Then the legislature writes the budget. And then the hearings and everything start over. Again, normally we would have the ability to make comments at the Legislative Budget Board. This year, those sessions are virtual and occurred in early November. So we've been monitoring those closely. Through lots of discussions with Sonia Gaines and her staff at HHSC, we know that they did not submit any additional exceptional items for substance use disorder this year. We also know that this is going to be a really tough budget year, probably the biggest one that any of us have been through. So we are working as the 3 organizations hosting, and then the state also, that a win is that we keep everything we have. We certainly will be ready to go for more, but right now we need to hold on to what we have so that we can keep serving people. But there are opportunities to continue to make a difference in the budget cycle as well. So if you thought the first map was a little confusing, here's the second one. This is what the budget cycle looks like every 2 years for the state of Texas. I can't make it big enough for you to really see on screen because there's just so much on it. But it is a 2-year cycle that begins with creating the budget, getting it passed, revising it, execution, evaluating how it's going, and starting all over again. So there's just a little bit of your government 101 that you took a long time ago and wanted to forget, but things that you need to know so that you can make a difference for the people we serve. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. And always remember, we are not giving up because we have advocates like you that are willing to fight for people that have no voice. Thank you.